From Will Smith's slap to Jon Jones' return to Curtin Blaydes' big KO win. All this and more in today's MMA Rumor. And don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date on the latest fight news. Let's get to it. 1. MMA World reacts to Will Smith's slap of Chris Rock over comments about his wife. That was awkward. Social media came to full life on Sunday night when movie star Will Smith walked up to comedian and host of the Academy Awards Chris Rock and slapped him in the face hard as hell. It all took place during the Oscars ceremony when Rock made a joke about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett, calling her G.I. Joe, and after laughing it off, Smith walked up to the stage towards Rock and slapped him pretty good, then walked back and told him to keep his wife's name out of his mouth. This moment lit up social media, especially the MMA world. UFC President Dana White reposted the video on his Twitter and stated, "Finally, there's an Oscar show worth watching, and at Chris Rock has a chin." This is what Jon Jones tweeted about the Oscars. And when watching the #Oscars, Will Smith is a gangster for that one. Chris Rock was the ultimate professional for the way he continued. Welterweight contender Bilal Muhammad posted a friends emoji and said this: "Colby and Chris Rock crying with each other, but it was just business." Sean Strickland also tweeted about the slap and mentioned Colby Covington's run-in with Jorge Masvidal outside a Miami restaurant, saying this: "LMAO, if that was at Colby Cov MMA, he would have been on the phone calling 911 while trying to give Trump a handjob. Well played at Chris Rock. You took that shit like a man. You should catch him in the parking lot, LOL." Marlon Chito Vera tweeted out a photo of Nate Diaz on Will Smith's head and stated, "209 in the house." And finally, former champ Daniel Cormier said this about the Smith-Rock slap: "Very hard to surprise me nowadays, but watching Will Smith slap the shit out of Chris Rock is very surprising. I'm actually amazed that this happened. You could see the moment Will started to feel played." What do you think about this slap? Do you think it was staged? Let us know in the comments below. 2. Jon Jones will fight this year, says Henry Cejudo. Jon Jones has not fought since he beat Dominic Reyes in a controversial split decision victory in February 2020. Not long after that, Jones, who had been beating up the entire light heavyweight division over the last 10 years, he vacated his light heavyweight title. Instead, he chose to focus on a move up in weight, planning to fight the big boys in the heavyweight division. He has yet to fight in the heavyweight division after some rumblings that he would take on world champion Francis Ngannou. Ngannou and Jones had separate issues regarding their compensation from the UFC, so that fight didn't happen. Then, in September, Jones was detained by police and charged with misdemeanor domestic battery at a hotel in Las Vegas, which certainly didn't help his chances of fighting soon. Although those charges were later dropped, he was banned from his longtime MMA home in Jackson Wink MMA in New Mexico, along with a public breakup with his longtime fiancée. He has since enlisted the help of former champ and Olympic gold medal wrestler Henry Cejudo. Jones is now training largely out of the Fight Ready gym in Arizona, working with Cejudo and a host of other elite fighters and martial artists to prepare him for his first heavyweight fight whenever that takes place. It's largely unknown when Jones would step back into the octagon, but in a recent interview with Helen Yee and the Schmo, Cejudo was asked about his thoughts on when he would see Jones back in the cage. This is how Triple C answered that question.
See him this year, Jon Jones?
You guys will see Jon Jones this year. He's anxious to fight. He's hungry, man. Jon Jones, he needed this time off. He needed this time off to get his mind right, to let his body recover, to enjoy his family. He needed all this. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be mad if you take.
Jones is largely considered one of the best fighters of his generation, perhaps the best, and is already a legend in the sport for all his accomplishments. The heavyweight picture remains a bit murky at the moment, with young bucks like Tom Aspinall and Tai Tuivasa ascending up the ranks. Former champion Stipe Miocic twisting in the wind, Curtin Blaydes delivering a spectacular performance over the weekend, and current champion Francis Ngannou recovering from a serious knee injury, along with a contentious contract negotiation looming with the UFC. Do you agree with Cejudo that Jones will fight against this year? And who do you want to see Jones fight against a heavyweight? Let us know in the comments below. Before we get to our next story, take a second to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the latest fight news. 3. Following big knockout win, Curtin Blaydes wants to fight Stipe Miocic. Curtin Blaydes just made a statement by knocking out a very tough and durable Chris Dawkins over the weekend at the UFC Fight Night event in Columbus, Ohio. Blaydes, who was ranked number 4 in the heavyweight division coming into the fight, took only 2 rounds to knock out the 5th-ranked Dawkins and is now staking his claim to potentially fight for an interim title next. During the post-fight press conference, Blaydes was set on fighting either former champion Stipe Miocic or former interim champion Cyril Gane, believing that either fight could get him much closer to a title shot should he get past him. However, Blaydes, if he has a choice, would much rather prefer fighting Miocic, who he considered to be the greatest heavyweight fighter in the UFC history. This is exactly what Blaydes said after the bout.
I believe he's a ghost, so it went over him. I think that's the one difference. Beating Stipe or Gane equals a title shot, but beating Stipe, I think, weighs more heavily, like, historically. Because everyone knows what Stipe has done. They know his resume, so that's the one difference. I would like to, having him on my resume, that would be huge, yeah.
Blaydes' KO win over the weekend gives him 2 straight victories following his decision win over Jairzinho Rozenstruik in September. Blaydes also knows Stipe very well, having been a former training partner back in 2014 for him before Blaydes was in the UFC. But what do you think about a fight between Curtis Blaydes and Stipe Miocic? Do you want to see that fight? And who do you think would win? Let us know in the comments below. There's always so much going on in the fight world, and we got it all here for you on MMA Rumor. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell to keep updated with all things MMA. Thanks for watching.